Let's go today. Inspire your troops today. Inspire your troops today.
If you guys want to be remembered forever, this is how you do it.
All right. We win the game. This is a legendary defense. Put an exclamation point on your work.
It's over, folks. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won the Super Bowl for a sixth-time unprecedented.
It's time now for Black and Gold Central Radio, exclusively on the Pro Football Central Radio Network. Let's get those terrible towels waving. And now your host, Mark Batista.
Welcome to the second episode of Black and Gold Central Radio. I am your host, Mark Batista. We're going to have Steelers' third-round draft pick, wide receiver Markus Wheaton, coming on the show in just a few minutes, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. You can also find Black and Gold Central on Twitter, Black and Gold Central, or BNG Central. You can find our Twitter account either way, with either of those by typing in either of those characters. And you can find me on Steel Tweets, Mark Batista, Steel Tweets. That's Steel_tweets. So Markus Wheaton, he'll be an interesting guy to have on the show. He was chosen in the third round by the Steelers back in April's draft. He is Oregon State's all-time leader in receptions, passing such receivers as Chad Johnson and T.J. Houshmandzadeh. And there are a few parallels between Markus Wheaton and Mike Wallace. Both were chosen in the third round. So a lot of eyes are going to be on Markus Wheaton this season in Pittsburgh. So we're definitely looking forward to talking to him. But while we wait for him to come on, we can talk about a few other things Steelers related here. So there's an article today in the Pittsburgh Tribune Review about Troy Polamalu and how he wants to sort of regain his form. The headline is, Steelers Polamalu strives to regain status as elite safety. And the article was written, and it was written by Alan Robinson of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Now, when it comes to Troy Polamalu, I still think that there's some tread on Troy Polamalu's tires. He's 32. Yes, he's been injured a lot. He only played in 7 games last season, I believe, and 5 games in 2009. So he has missed more than half the season in 2 out of the last 4 years. So his health has become an issue. But he's 32, and everybody's saying, well, he's old, he's almost done. But, you know, as age goes on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, Troy Polamalu is really not that old. Brett Kiefel's going to be 35 next season. Ryan Clark turns 34 in October. Ike Taylor and Larry Foote are both 33, and Larry Foote's 33rd birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, Larry. Look, Troy Polamalu he turned 32 in April. Now, unlike 2009 when Polamalu missed basically the second half of the season, at least that much, Troy Polamalu was able to return last year, and he returned for their December 2nd game against Baltimore. So that would have been 1, 2, 3. He was back for the last 5 games. And he slowly became more of a factor. They kind of worked him in slowly. And although he doesn't have a lot to show for it, I actually liked what I saw from Troy Polamalu in the Dallas game, in the loss against Dallas. The Steelers obviously lost that game, but I think they would have lost that game by a lot more if Polamalu wasn't cleaning up a lot of messes and mistakes in the secondary. And then he had a sack in a losing effort against the Bengals, and he had an interception against the Browns. So I think he slowly started to regain his form at the end of last year. And so, he's going into the off season a lot healthier than he was last year. So, I mean, what I need to say is according to this article by Alan Robinson in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review, he's healthier this year, heading into the off season than he was last year. So I still think that Troy Polamalu has one more season left in him, one more of those 7 interception seasons left in him, where he can really be a factor and a game changer on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. So that'll be interesting to watch. He just needs to stay healthy, and he took his conditioning more seriously this off season. I don't think he's ever not taken it seriously, but he really took it to another level during this off season. So, but we're going to talk to instead of talking about a 30-something player, we're going to be talking to and about a 20-something on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And in just a few minutes, we will have Markus Wheaton on the show, and we'll ask him a few questions. So stay tuned. Hi, we're with Markus Wheaton here on Black and Gold Central Radio. Thank you for being on the show, Markus.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Okay, great. One thing I wanted to ask you, Markus, is that since you're not able to take part in the Steelers' organized team activities since Oregon State hasn't graduated yet, you graduate on Saturday, how have you kind of stayed plugged in with the Steelers during this time since you've been drafted?
Really just studying the playbook and working out, trying to stay up to speed on my workouts, and that's all I can do really.
Okay. So you have the playbook. What's it like? You got an NFL playbook. How different is that from your college playbook?
To be honest, it's not much different at all. The stuff we ran here at Oregon State is pretty similar to the stuff they're running out in Pittsburgh, so that makes it a lot easier for me. Okay,
good. So a lot of similarities. So that'll help your learning curve a little bit.
Oh yeah, that'll make it a lot easier. I went down for the mini camp and I was surprised when I seen that it was pretty much the same stuff. Made it real easy for me to pick up.
Okay, great. One thing that I was interested in is you did 20 reps on the bench press at the NFL Scouting Combine. Now that tied you for third among wide receivers at the Combine. Now, do you have any workout tips for radio hosts if I want to be able to lift 20 reps?
To be honest, I just hit the weights hard, man. I hit the weights hard. I went down to Texas actually for those 3 months leading up to the Combine, and I just hit the weights hard. I worked hard at everything I did, and it came, and I was very excited about the 20 reps.
Yeah. Now, so, obviously, you're a wide receiver. You got to be fast. You got to be able to catch the ball. How does, the strength that comes in bench pressing, how does that play into your game as a wide receiver?
I would say mostly at the line of scrimmage. You have to switch up releases. And those cornerbacks you're going against, man, are strong. They're strong, and they'll try to jam me at the line, as you guys know. So that'll help with me releasing at the line a lot. And also in blocking as well. Blocking safeties. A lot of times when the run's coming my way, I'm gonna have to cut down on the safety, and that's that stuff. And being strong also helps with that.
Okay. Now, did you have any contact with the Pittsburgh Steelers before the draft?
No. Actually, I talked with them at the Combine, and that was about it. Talked with them at the Combine. Sat down with Coach Tom and in one of the meeting rooms and chatted with him for a little bit, but that was pretty much it.
That was your first time you met Mike Tomlin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What was your impression?
I was impressed. To be honest, I was impressed. A little bit intimidated. I was nervous going into all that stuff. Being able to meet all those head coaches and GMs and all the other people that was there. So I was definitely impressed with him and his staff, and I'm glad to be a Pittsburgh Steelers.
So when they picked you, you were all surprised. It sounds like after the combine, you didn't really have much contact with the Steelers. So when they picked you, were you surprised at all that they were the team that picked you?
Yeah, I was very much so surprised. Like I said, I only talked to him at the combine, and I wasn't expecting it at all. There was a couple of teams that I had talked to a little bit more that I was expecting to pick me up, and they passed by me in draft. I was a little bit hurt about that, but then Steelers picked me up, and obviously it's a great organization, a great team, and you can't go wrong, going to Pittsburgh.
So it sounds like you felt maybe a little passed over, and then you got the call from the Steelers. So what was going through your mind when you got that call in the third round?
Obviously, I was excited for it to be anybody. My phone rang during the draft. I was, my head was spinning. I was at home with the family, and I was excited. And then I heard Mike Tomlin's voice, and that put me over the top. I grew up watching them. Like I said, great organization, and my head was spinning.
Good. Well, now there are some parallels, Marcus, between you and Mike Wallace. You both were chosen in the third round. You both have track-like speed. There are some parallels. So there's going to be some Steelers fans who might want to see Markus Wheaton kind of have the same impact as a rookie as Mike Wallace had. So what do you think about that?
I heard a lot of the Mike Wallace comparisons, to be honest, but he's been there for a little bit. Obviously he's a great player, and I'm not expecting to come in and do what he was doing last year or the year before. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna work my ass off to do what I can, and whatever that is, I'm gonna get the job done. I'm gonna hit the playbook hard, and try to pick it up as fast as I can, and that's really all I can do. And once I hit the field, I'm gonna just play football.
And there was another interesting thing too, is that and one of the scouting reports that I saw, the pro player comparison was with you was Antonio Brown, and that's something that still is on the team. So, what have you been talking to some of the current Steelers receivers? Have you been picking anything up and learning from them?
To be honest, I haven't yet. I haven't talked to any of those vets out there yet. It's something I'm really looking forward to. I just got off the phone with one of the coaches now, and we're talking about getting me down there pretty soon. So hopefully I'll be able to get in contact with those guys and, sit down and pick their brains a little bit.
So you said you watched the Steelers growing up. Does that mean you're a Steelers fan growing up?
I wasn't a Steelers fan, to be honest. I was actually a huge Cowboys fan. I had a cousin who played for Cowboys, but the Steelers are always around. That's one team that didn't go anywhere. They're always around. They're always doing good.
So as you were talking about before, your graduation is Saturday. So the cap and gown, are you looking forward to that?
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait. I got all my family coming down for that. Actually just picked up my cap and gown, so it's actually starting to hit me now,
Yeah, I remember one of the things when I had my cap and gown, just keeping that thing on my head, I had to use the bobby pins and stuff to, attach it. So what? Are you cap and gown in the Oregon State school colors?
Yeah. It's all black and it got some orange stitch in it. You know, I tried it on a couple of times.
A little different than shoulder pads, I guess.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what is your preparation? Training camp begins on July 26th. So what are your preparations? Are your preparations between now and then going to be the same as your preparations, since you've been drafted? What's on your agenda between, you graduate Saturday, so what's on your agenda between Saturday and the start of training camp?
I would say it's a little bit different. Going into the combine, we lifted a little bit more. We didn't focus too much on being in shape. I think going into a camp is all about being in shape. Being ready to play football, and that's a lot more running. A lot more catching the ball, and less focus on lifting the weights.
Okay. So you're working out on your own with running routes and things like that. How are you able to replicate that when you're on your own?
Well, there's a couple guys that got drafted. Well, one guy in particular that got drafted as a cornerback here, and we've been working a lot together. We have a young quarterback we've been working with here, and then a lot of other guys that got picked up. We all been working as a group here, and kind of pushing each other and trying to keep each other on track.
Oh, and that's out in Oregon there, or?
Yes, sir. Yeah, at school at Oregon State. So we're working with our strength coach at Oregon State, and he put a little workout together for us, and we all as a group been doing that.
Okay, great. Well, if you're a Pittsburgh Steeler now, Markus, do you have anything that you wanted to say before we let you go and get ready for graduation?
Man, I'm just excited to be here. Excited to get down there and start playing football.
Where can we find you on Twitter?
At TWeek002.
Okay, great. Well, great. Well, I appreciate you coming on to like we said, you are the inaugural guest on on BlackNGoldCentral Radio, and good luck this season.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That was Markus Wheaton here on BlackNGoldCentral Radio on the Pro Football Central Network. Great interview. A lot of people are saying about Markus that he is a more polished version of Mike Wallace. He wasn't going to really compare himself directly to Mike Wallace, but there are some parallels. We are going to be some Steelers fans are going to be expecting him to be just as productive as Mike Wallace was as a rookie, and Wallace caught 39 passes as a rookie. But Mike Tomlin used to call Wallace a one-trick pony, and early indications, at least from the scouting reports, are that Markus Wheaton is a little more developed than that. He can run a greater variety of routes, so that should be interesting. And Markus Wheaton should fit right in. It wouldn't be surprising to see him just step in and become the Steelers' number 3 receiver behind Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Sanders. He hasn't been able to participate in the OTAs, but he did take part in rookie camp. So, it's not, it's really not that big a deal that Markus Wheaton hasn't been able to take part in OTAs, because really, wide receiver is, at least with the Steelers, if you look at players who have been drafted, wide receivers kind of has the quickest learning curve. And, Markus did say that the playbook to the Steelers playbook is very similar to the one that he had at Oregon State. Now, talking about the Steelers wide receivers in general, if you read my stuff on Bleacher Report and on Steeler Addicts, I was in favor of the Steelers letting Emmanuel Sanders go to the New England Patriots and getting that third-round draft pick as compensation. I figured the Steelers just needed to start really, building up through the draft. Now, I don't want to say that I'm going back, doing a 180-degree turn on that, but if you look at the Steelers wide receivers now, I mean, if you look at their depth chart, you got Antonio Brown, Sanders, presumably Markus Wheaton, if he can work his way into that number 3 wide receiver spot as a rookie. Then you have a couple of veterans, Plaxico Burress and Jericho Cotchery. They could be the number 4 and 5 receivers. Another guy who I've been big on is undrafted receiver J.D. Woods, who I think he's one of my surprise picks to make the team. And actually, in my Bleacher Report article that was published today, I looked at 6 undrafted players who could really make an impact for the Steelers. And J.D. Woods, who caught 61 passes at West Virginia last year, was one of the players that I mentioned. But getting back to, Emmanuel Sanders, the Steelers matching the Patriots' offer back in April for Emmanuel Sanders. I've given you all the, receivers the Steelers have, and looking at the Patriots' roster on NFL.com, they got Julian Edelman and Danny Amendola, and then Matthew Slater, Donald Jones, Michael Jenkins is there, Josh Boyce, who was drafted this year, and then there's just a lot of no names. There's a lot of guys that haven't really heard of. T.J. Moe, Ken Brell Tompkins, Aaron Dobson is another rookie in this year's draft class. So maybe the Steelers did make the right decision by not letting Emmanuel Sanders become a New England Patriot, because they might be stronger at their receiver position than the Patriots now. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm not going to go back on my opinion from April, but it's June now, and June's a lot different from April. Just like August is a lot different than June, because in August you have actual training camp, and then October is a lot different than August, because September and October, November and December is when the games count. And the Steelers begin their training camp July 26th, by the way, at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. I just want to make sure that I got that date right, but from what I read, it was their start date is July 26th. So, and then so we talked about the Steelers wide receivers. Also, the tight end position is, that is a little bit of a question mark too. Heath Miller had that injury in Week 16 last season, the second to last game of the season. By the way, the Steelers training camp does start July 26th. I just wanted to check up on that. This is the 48th year the Steelers will train at St. Vincent College. So that's set in stone. But, Heath Miller, we're not sure if he's going to be able to start the season. That could open. I mean, the Steelers acquired Matt Spaeth, or reacquired Matt Spaeth for a second tour of duty, and Matt Spaeth his strength is blocking. So he might not be a factor so much as a pass catcher, but David Paulson was hurt during OTAs. So without Heath Miller there, maybe somebody like Plaxico Burress or Jericho Cotchery could be a factor more in the red zone. Hopefully the Steelers can get Heath Miller at least sometime in September. If they're without Heath Miller long term, that could really be a problem for them. But yeah, I mean, there's some of the reports are pretty optimistic that Miller can at least be a factor or at least return fairly early in the season. He was the Steelers' most valuable player last year. So they're going to need his help, and they're going to need him to be a factor if they want to get back. They want to get back into the playoffs. So, other things that have come up in Steeler land over the past day or so. There's articles in the Tribune Review and also on NFL.com that the Steelers' first-round draft pick, Jarvis Jones, is coming along kind of slowly. This quote from Steelers linebackers coach Keith Butler saying, "It's not fair to the rest of the guys to have him out on the field." He told that to the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. That's kind of those are strong words that indicate that Jarvis Jones still has a lot to learn, and we shouldn't be surprised by that. Again, this is June, so he has time to learn, and the defensive players, defensive rookies, don't usually start for the Steelers. Actually, no rookie has started for the Steelers since Dick LeBeau became the defensive coordinator in 2004. No rookie defensive player has started for the Steelers since Dick LeBeau became the defensive coordinator. Lamar Woodley didn't start until his second year. He had 4 sacks in his rookie year, and he had 11.5 sacks in 2008 when the Steelers won the Super Bowl. Lawrence Timmons did not become a regular starter until his third year. He didn't start any games in 2007, his rookie year. He started 2 games in 2008, and then finally in 2009 he became a full-time starter. So the last defensive rookie to start for the Steelers was Kendrell Bell in 2001. So, let's not worry too much about Jarvis Jones. Jason World, he's there. He can keep the feet warm, and who knows? Maybe drafting Jarvis Jones can kind of light a fire under Jason World, or maybe Jason World, can make a big leap in his. This will be his 4th season, I think. I think Jason World was drafted in 2010, and this would be his 4th season. So maybe Jason World makes a big leap from year 3 to year 4. Then if he becomes productive, then and they can have Jarvis Jones kind of fighting for playing time too. That might be a good problem to have for the Steelers. So we'll keep an eye on Jarvis Jones and see how he progresses. We've still got another month and a half before training camp starts. So anything between now and then is just going to be guesswork. Today is the last day of the Steelers' mandatory minicamp, and they're all kind of going off and going their separate ways right now. So I guess the last thing that I can really get a couple of minutes here before we wrap up the show. So, I have to talk about the one little piece of news that's reverberated around the NFL this week, even though it's not directly related to the Steelers. The Patriots signed Tim Tebow. So, and the Steelers play the Patriots this year in New England.
The following subject is restricted to the Pro Football Central Radio Network. No Tim Tebow talk. Thank you.
Well, I guess that's my cue to not say anything about the NFL's favorite backup quarterback, but maybe I can just avoid mentioning the name here and just say that when the Steelers played the Patriots in 2008, they got to face Tom Brady's backup quarterback because Tom Brady missed that season with an injury, and the Steelers won that game at Gillette Stadium because they didn't have to face Tom Brady. The Steelers have never beaten Tom Brady at Gillette Stadium. But the Steelers probably, if they had to face Tom Brady's backup, considering how they've done before against Tom Brady's backup, I think they might be just better off facing Tom Brady when they play the Patriots in November 3rd, in Week 9. So that's a game that's circled on the calendar, on the Steelers schedule, and we're looking forward to the 2013 season. And we'll have many more Black and Gold Central shows between now and then, right here on the Pro Football Central Network. And for now, I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to once more give you a couple of Twitter handles here. Black and Gold Central on Twitter. That's Black, the letter N, Gold Central. Or you can type BNG Central. That will get you there also. And I am at Steel Tweet. Mike Batista, that's STEEL_tweet. And for now, we're going to sign off, and we will be back with you next week.
This has been a presentation of the Pro Football Central Network. For news, blogs, highlights, and more, log on to ProFootballCentral.com.